All right, 08 Itasca Navion. This vent hood, I know this is a common problem with these switches pushing out, getting broke real easy. So I'm going to try to remove this and repair this. This is a Baraldi, if I'm pronouncing that right. I believe it's 52213, I believe is the model number. I have to double check, but anyway, it's a 24-inch by 20-inch measurement. And should be just bolted on. Should be able to take it down and then see about repairing this here. I believe this breaks real easy is the problem. So we'll see if we can repair it today. All right, so I removed the filter screen and I can see now the little tiny Phillips screws, I believe, that's holding this in. So there should be 2 on the front, 2 on the rear. I'm gonna start with that. See if I make some progress. All right, and that did get it released. And you can see all the wiring is tucked up there too. So, and you can see the back of your vent there. So, but all right, so now we've got it down. We ought to be able to start working on it. And so stay tuned and we'll see if we can't get this repaired. All right, now with this removed, I'm going to fish in here and get those broken parts out, and we're going to see what we need to do to repair that. Just to be sure, I bought a Pro Switch assembly, and these aren't cheap. $45, $65 plus shipping, and it's very fragile, so you have to be careful using these. They're easy to break. But I did buy a replacement setup, and if this works, this is where I got it from, Woodland Airstream, because these do work on Airstreams. Excuse me. And there's an item, Baraldi range hood 512210-103. All right, so more to come. All right, now I did have to remove 2 little small screws, and that removes this final plate, so I can get in here now and get access to this control that's broken. It's come out here, this part here. So we're going to work on that now, and you can see I need to clean this up. All right, it does look like this is the replacement. What I noticed is that this little front cover recesses in here, and all that holds that on is 2 little screws in the back, and then you have your little switch settings to get plugged in. So it is a very fragile part, and in operating the switches, I think it puts pressure on there and it snaps off there. But when I look at the original, that's what's happened. These have just snapped off, so I believe I can remove the screws on the back of this. I may be able to reuse this, but I'm going to try to get these screws out. Now I've got me a really tiny, small Phillips. It's going to take to go down in there and try to get them out, because you can see they're very small heads. So let's see if we can get them out. If not, we'll come up with an alternative. All right, now I turned the air on, so we got a little bit more noise here, but I plugged this up before I put it in its casing to see what's going to happen. And you can see now the fan is running, and we're gonna clean that up. But I'm getting a reading of proper voltage on this line, but I'm not getting any lights, and I'm thinking that both the bulbs may be blown. So I'm chasing that down now. But otherwise, once I get the lights and confirm they're working, this is just a matter of sliding that into a new sleeve here, a new sleeve, putting the new face plate on, and putting the 2 screws in the back as you recess it in, and it should be good to go. Now when you put those wires inside this case, it has a little bottom floor there that you screw in that kind of crimps and holds those wires in place. This is the way you'd see it facing you with your switches here. And then on each side, you'd have on the front here would have the manufacturer, and the little screws would be on the back here to hold it in place. So it's nothing but basically plastic, these switches. And they share common positive grounds. They just split them off in pigtails coming from the unit, so it's pretty easy setup. All right, so let's try to trace down the problem with the bulbs and all. Once we get that done, we can finish this assembly and get this thing put back up in place. Now, if you have to replace them bulbs, you got a little snap ring here. You can see it comes out. It's got a little piece of glass over it. And to get that out, what you really need is something like this, so you can get in the edge and kind of work the snap ring out, pick the piece of glass off, so then you can get to the bulbs. All right, fishing around here, I see now I've got light, so I've confirmed the switches are connected, so I'm ready to start putting this thing back together. Alrighty, so we confirm now we have lights and we have fan. So we are ready to start reassembling and put this back. Okay, so I have completed the installation here of the switches, and what I found is that you are going to have to glue these in to have stability, and I even wedged some wood in here with super glue just to force this and hold this in place, because this is just cheap plastic. It'll be very easy to break these again. So I have reinforced it and sealed it, both switches in place. So, all right. Okay, and this is it installed, and like I said, I had to glue in the switches, and I thought I'd show you it. Now this is very fragile, but there's your lights here, and then here's your fan switch. But I can see where they're real fragile and easy to break. So I reinforced the switches, hoping that that would help. Now we're going to finish the assembly and put this back together. Okay, all that's left now is for me to mount it, but I did want to tell you a couple things. If I had to do this again, I would replace the whole unit. It really is shoddy construction. I mean, it's a beautiful vent hood, but the way this is done up here, it's a problem. I had to put reinforcements in off camera and behind this to hold the pressure on this switch. Otherwise, these things just push in and fall out. So you have to exert some pressure here to hold those switch indicators in place. I mean, it's working now, and I'm sure it'll work, but it was a lot of modifications to make this thing where it's just not going to break again. All right, well, thanks for watching, and then again, I'm going to just put the 4 screws back in and remount it, and I'm going to call it another job done on an 08 Itasca Navion. This Veraldi vent hood, the original vent hood that comes in these View and Navions. Thanks for watching. All right, thought I'd give you one more view with it reinstalled now, and the switch is working. Like I said, if you really want this thing to last, you're going to have to build reinforcement for these switches, which I put inside, and this should be good to go now. Everything is working. The lights, fan, so alrighty, another job done.